Coronavirus, college football, coronavirus talk, college football talk. What's going to win out here? Rogers, Trump on right now? Usually has his news conference right about now. I may not win the amusement or the entertainment value of a Donald Trump, but with big game James Coleman, Jason Parker, and Logan Robinson, you throw them in with me and we tip the scales. There's no question about it.
I think combined we may all win an election if all four of us run together.
Everybody, welcome to Florida State Seminoles Live. This is our 49th edition. From the top, we got Jason Parker from NBC 6. We've got big game James Coleman and Kai right along with him. And, of course, Logan Robinson joining us from the car, playing the role of big game James Coleman from the car on remote. Logan Robinson from Knowles Game Day.
Logan, we get that you love James. We get that you respect James. You don't have to be like James and do it from the car. You can go into the house this week, okay? He's in the house. He's made it in.
I'm trying to be like him. I don't know how the internet connection is going to be. I'm at a friend's house, but I'm trying to be like Coleman all the time. He knows this, but I'm glad I could actually get in here and actually have internet access to bounce in here and talk some NFL draft and whatever else we got to talk about today.
I'm a little upset that we're not going to get to see you do push-ups this week. James, you weren't here last week. Logan bet that if Cam Akers got drafted in the third round or later, that he would do 50 push-ups. And luckily, the LA Rams saved Logan Robinson.
It's too bad we couldn't have gotten somebody on the other side of that bet and we could watch somebody do 50 push-ups here. Would have been nice.
I think Kai can knock out 50 push-ups, I think. Kai Coleman?
I don't need any push-ups. I'm looking good lately.
This is Corona got you working. Corona got you fit, Logan.
Serious. Oh God. Oh, he sends out guns out. Let's get this going. Can we talk?
Yeah, let's get this going. Let's get this going. We'll keep the bearded face shot for Logan. No more than that. That's all we can take. I'm the only one really positioned to show the scrawny guns here. All right. Maybe Jason can as well. Yeah, there you go. All right. Talking Florida State football every Tuesday night. We're at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Blame me, everybody who's going to miss this one on the first run on the live airing of it. This is my fault. This is my schedule. The worldwide leader calls 5 p.m. Eastern time. But, of course, you can catch the replay. So, again, it's Jason Parker, it's big game James Coleman, and it's Logan Robinson from Knoll Game Day. James, we'll start with you on Cam Akers going to the Rams. Second round, 53rd pick. Your thoughts about Cam Akers and the Rams fit?
I think it's a good fit, especially what Cam's able to do in the passing game as well as the running game. They obviously needed a running back. We all know what happened with them in that situation. But with an innovative offense, I think he could, in an offensive line for probably the first time since high school, that we'll be shocked to see what he does. He probably will be a little gun-shy because when he actually sees a wide open hole with nobody there to actually be able to impede his progress, he's probably going to be a little nervous and think it's a trap or a setup. But I think what he's done in Florida State is going to definitely kind of come in and that kind of training. And we should probably be able to see a Dalvin Cook-esque type of career for him. A lot of people call me crazy when I said he reminded me a lot of Dalvin his freshman year, but now we see that, and also the NFL obviously sees it as well where he was picked.
I'll admit, and we talked a little bit about this last week when we said where did we think Cam Akers would end up. When the Rams at 52 picked Cam, I was shocked. I had to literally rewind and make sure I heard the name Cam Akers, running back Florida State, because I did not see the Rams selecting. But we talked about this a little bit last week. Cam Akers was in a perfect position because all the mock drafts, all the people, all the experts and whatnot said he was going to get drafted by a decent team. And the Rams fall into that. Let's remember, 2018, they were a team that was in the Super Bowl, and they were legitimately one possession away late in that ball game from winning the Super Bowl. So it's not like they are in a deep rebuild mode. They got rid of Todd Gurley. Cam Akers is going to have a chance to be the starting running back once fall practice, once OTAs and whatnot start. And I think the other advantage that he's going to have is you're going into a Rams situation where the three teams in the NFC West all were in the bottom half last year against the run defense. San Francisco was 17th against the run. Seattle was 22nd against the run. Arizona was 24th against the run. He's going to be going up against defenses that gave up a lot of yards. He's going to get a chance to get a lot of carries early on. I think there's a decent chance, and call me a homer here, he could legitimately be in the running for Rookie of the Year right away. Now, obviously, does he have to go out and work for it? Absolutely. But I think James hit the nail on the head. You know, he's going to see an offensive line for once. He didn't see it for 3 years in Tallahassee. Now he's going to see what's going to happen. Oh, I can run with people actually blocking for me. Oh, I'm not going to have to do it all myself. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do in that layout.
What you got, Logan, on Cam Akers?
Hopefully, can you hear me clearly? That's what I'll.
We got you. We got you. You're in decent shape. You might have to stretch out the lungs a little bit tonight. Give us your best voice.
Perfect.
Reach the back of the auditorium. Show us the pipes.
For Akers, in my opinion, like James talking about, he actually gets an offensive line. So his production, hopefully, I think will go up. I did like what he showed in the NFL Combine. He showed that he's got some hands too, and I'm sure they'll be utilized under McVay over there in LA. And I'm glad that he goes to an organization that I think is they're ran by a very smart and they're an upcoming team in the NFL. And I think that offensive line will help a lot in his early career. And you never know, he could be in the running for an NFL offensive rookie type of situation of the year award. So we'll see, but I'm excited for Akers. He goes and joins a lot of Noles that are heading over to the West Coast. Obviously, Derwin James is there. Jalen Ramsey is there. Terrence Mann, Kevin Gelly is they're both with the Clippers. So it seems like a West Side Noles situation is happening.
And a very innovative guy in Sean McVay, obviously, that knows how to work an offense, feature a player, schema it up, match him up, and so forth. So this is a question for everybody regarding what I saw out of Cam Akers last year. Did we see a running back in 2018 that got so much better in 2019? Or are we just seeing just a little bit better of offensive line play because he was just so much more productive and he just seemed determined? I know Herb Street and some other analysts, when he was drafted, I was flipping back and forth between the pro analysts and the college analysts, just pointed it out that, and I saw the same thing last year. It was like he knew, hey, this is my NFL audition, and he played not to in any way question his competitive spirit and motivation for the team itself, but he ran with determination last year.
He knew his paycheck on the line. He knew that this was his. I mean, you went from 1,000-yard rushers as a true freshman to 706 yards as a sophomore. And then, like we talked about this last week, 85 of those yards were on one carry against Virginia Tech in the opener. This was his last chance. This was his payday time right here. And he had to go out there and do that. And you're talking about 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. He knew, I have to go out there and prove it. And I could argue that he could get drafted higher based on his potential. If he can do that in the NFL, and like I said, James hit the nail on the head. If he can do that in the NFL with an offensive line, he has the potential to do something serious in LA.
James, only if we had somebody who was qualified to maybe answer this question that's actually,
Hey,
James, you may want to fill in and give us a shot at it.
Hey,
I think, I mean, everybody's qualified. Anybody can watch the game. It's just different. I think, and again, all respect to Kirk Herbstreit, and guys has done a tremendous job over the years, but I'm starting – the more and more I start to see guys like Stephen A. Smith ascend, and I look at their travel schedule and a lot of things that they do, I just think it's impossible for them to really get the opportunity to watch games and really break it down in the manner in which they would like to, because it's just like you can't cover all of college football and then have a chance to look at the minutia that you would normally. So you really just watch it, and you watch it for what you see. And when you just watch it for what you see, the last 3-4 years have been really, really bad, poorly coached football. But when we look at what happened in 2018 with the lethal simplicity and Walt Baby Bell coming in, they really centered that offense around a very simple concept called the zone read. And when you have a quarterback who I have no problems with, but he just had he refused to pull the ball on the zone read. But people who don't understand that, it's basically the running back is in the shotgun, comes across. The quarterback's job is to read the defensive end. He's either going to give it if the defensive end stays, or he's going to pull it if the defensive end crashes down. So if you go back and you really watch a lot of that film, you see a lot of times that Cam Akers is just being handed the ball into a wall, and there's no reason for them to get that ball. And it was very little innovation. Or the play that I think I saw somebody put out on Twitter again against Notre Dame when we literally got 5 in the box with Notre Dame. They've got 4 D linemen and 1 Mike linebacker daring us to run the ball. And we decide that, you know what, we're going to rely on the arm of DeAndre Francois instead of taking numbers as they give us. So you have that with 2018. So, and the fact that he still has 750 yards is still remarkable considering the things that happened. Now, when I watched the film this year, and it makes me also think about 2018 as well, I don't know if FSU's offensive line is bad or just stupid. And it's a lot of it is just simple combo blocks, just things that you should have learned like back in Pop Warner days. Like we just did not do that with the schemes. And I think the fact that he was able to make somebody miss in the backfield and do more, you got a chance to see it. But I will say it was a little bit better blocking. But I just think Cam, with another year of getting bigger, more physically mature, and also mentally mature. I think that team faced a lot of adversity from whether bad play calling, things not going their way in 2018, and I think everybody handled it poorly. Coaching staff to players. And I think what you saw in 2019 was a much better job of the guys who actually probably do have an opportunity to play in the NFL being more mature about how they handle it. Guys like who, if he would have left this year, Marvin Wilson would have been a tremendous draft pick, probably a second round more than likely, but mature enough to understand that I got to rely on my own ability to be able to get to the NFL. Tamron Terry, up and down, but when he's on. He's determined to make a play. But those are the guys that saw him make it anyway. So I think Cam Akers' mental and physical maturity was just more so on display. Less about 2019, but I mean less about a paycheck. But that's what it's all about. Actually, I made a rant on that on Twitter the other day. Like if you want to get paid, play. Play like a man, and that's basically what Cam did. He played like a man.
I do know that Logan was upset. Let's be honest, Logan. You were upset that Cam did not fall to the Steelers. Be honest. You cried a little. You shed a tear.
Yeah, no, I was kind of sad. See, now J.K. Dobbins was also supposed to come to my Steelers. That's who I wanted first before anybody else, but that didn't end up happening. But I'm fine with the wide receiver that we got. I mean, having Cam Akers, and then I heard that Jameis Winston turned down my Steelers. That hurts even more. I know it's not official yet that he's going to the Saints, but I'm just getting hit all over the place. I don't know what's happening, who's going behind my back and doing this to me, but can I just get one? No, I know I got Vince Williams. Mm-hmm. I had Timmons before. I mean, Vince Williams I can still rock with, but I mean, having Cam or having Jameis there to be my next starting quarterback in Pittsburgh would have been nice. I can't deny that.
Hey, I have Knowles on the Ravens, so okay, I'm sitting here rooting Knowles. I'm hoping somebody gets traded or something right there. And don't worry, I'm going to talk to you and Mark later about who said Jameis was going to the Saints, who called that weeks ago. Let's just throw it out there real quick. But James, I actually do have a question for you real quick as the one running back here on this group here. You talked a little bit about the system in the Rams, about him being able to catch the ball out of the backfield and whatnot. We saw that a lot with the Rams with Todd Gurley, how they used him catching the ball out of the backfield. Do you see the Rams using Cam the same way they used Todd Gurley, or do you see them using him a different way? How do you think he's going to be used specifically in that offense?
I think it's definitely more so. I think Todd Gurley is a good example. I think Todd Gurley is a different built type of back, but I think Cam is not small by any means. It can handle a 25 carry load if necessary, or whatever it comes down to. But I do know they've got to establish the run. When they were going to the Super Bowl, when McVay was considered great and innovative, it was a very good mix of run and pass, and the play action was second to none. So And so I think you got to simplify the game and play to your strengths right now. So their defense is going to be what's stronger right now with them losing a few weapons on offense. So Cam has got to come in and be ready, which is difficult considering that you don't have right now. They're not going to have like they would be getting prepared for rookie minicamp this upcoming weekend, and then regular minicamp after that, no OTAs. But considering with COVID, a lot of that stuff has been put on hold. So he's got to learn a lot on the fly, and you got to be more cerebral. But the benefit to him is having 3 different playbooks in 3 years. So you got to learn. You got to forget what you learned and relearn everything else. So I'm definitely thinking that Cam should get his fair share of things. Now the thing is that he needs to recognize is as body maintenance. You're going from playing 12 games a year to 13 games a year to 16 regular season games. And 5 weeks of training camp and preseason, so the season's a lot longer. So he's got to make sure he does a little bit better on his body.
James and Mark, I do also want to say indoors. Logan can't decide whether he wants to go indoors or outdoors here.
I think he was just nice enough to go get the mail for his friend, over at his friend's house. Made it outside to go get the mail or something there.
Well, This is the end of the semester. I got done with my final exam at noon today, so we're just having a meetup. We are hanging out outside. We're doing puzzles. We're still kind of overlooking the exams and our textbooks, so we're being very, very smart today. And it's not a beautiful day out. We're just out having a good study time.
So no more classes in the career of Logan Robinson. It's just finals and you're done. That's it.
Finals, and then it complete. I still have summer. I still have summer online, but that'll be it. But so the spring semester is fully over. It's summertime for me right now, so that's why immediately after taking that exam, I came over here. And like I said, we're having apple juice, we're having water, and we're doing just puzzle boards and all that.
It's just it's just a family time over there with you and your friends. Absolutely.
By the way, I want to say, Mark, for your one commentary asking about the sweatshirt. This was like the last day it's under 80 degrees.
It's 78.
Yeah, it was actually under 80 degrees down here, so this is the last time I'll be able to wear this till like January. So I figured, screw it, why not?
Let's remind everyone that they're watching Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. This is our Florida State Seminoles live show. We come your way every Tuesday at whatever time we figure it out. Each and every week. It used to be at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
We used to be on Tuesday. Last week we were on Monday.
Then it was at 6. Then it was at 5 today. I think we're going to a morning show eventually. We're going to be bright and early, like 6 in the morning. And Logan's just going to catch us on the back end of the night before, basically.
I work 5 a.m., so I'll be up. So let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Super chat's on, everyone. Remind you there. And just if you may want to like the video now, you're not going to get scolded by Logan. But if you want to wait for the big speech and then give it one big push of likes at the same time, that's fine as well. But
I wasn't subscribed. I just subscribed. How do you like this thing? Is it like frowned upon to like the video that you're on?
Wait, Big Game James subscribed here, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know I wasn't subscribed.
Pushing me toward 19K. We're only a few away. Let's get there. Very nice.
You know what I liked the most out of this entire weekend? Let's give a shout out to James Cole. Florida State had 4 players sign undrafted free agent contracts with teams, and one of them was a fullback.
And we're going to get there. We're going to get there in just a second. And, of course, we couldn't go an entire show or even about 20 minutes without a Jason Parker shout-out, the official shout-out. We're going to get that sponsor, Jason. That's just another sponsorship you can work on.
But it's another guest, so is that really still a shout-out?
It's a shout-out.
Okay, shout-out.
Let's not categorize the shout-outs quite yet until we get the sponsorship.
Shout out to Publix. That's where I got my dinner for tonight. I mean, we can really do this for a while. Shout out to the apple juice that Logan's going to drink. I mean,
So James, these two here, Jason and Logan, big fans of Stanford Samuels and his performance and the way he brought it at the NFL Combine. I've never heard these two. Well, Jason goes off on people like this like 3 times a show. Logan, I've never heard Logan go off on somebody like this. The way he took a shot at Stanford Samuels.
Whoa. now see, from my point of view right now, I'm looking through a phone and everybody's skipping up, but I was just told, I don't know if Mark is on something, but he just said that I was giving a lot of praise and all that to Stanford Samuels and his NFL combine.
I only winked a few times when I said that.
Fantastic, Logan.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I can't be having my name out there saying that. That's
first of all,
hey, he's going to the Packers, who obviously had an amazing draft, and hey, looks like they're starting off good in the undrafted free agent market too.
Listen, I personally have no problem with Stanford Samuels. I love him to death. He's a South Florida guy. I just said he was disappointing for what we expected in Tallahassee. And that's all. I think he didn't play up to his potential. I said the same thing about Levante Taylor. I think Levante Taylor was a disappointment in his 4 years after coming in as a top 10 pick. I mean, he gets a look. I believe it's the Rams. Also, he'll be joining Cam Akers, at least in camp with the Rams. I think it's good that he got it. We talked about this. Ryan Roberts. I'm shout out to Ryan Roberts getting a look by the Chargers. He signs as a free agent of the Chargers. Gabe Neighbors to the Chargers. What I was happy about of anything, and call this defaming us as Knowles, is that no team was stupid enough to sign Dante Jackson. That's what I'm very happy about, is that Dante Jackson did not sign a contract with anyone. Nobody looked at him and said, hey, I want a guy who's going to get a personal foul penalty that almost cost the Seminoles a game against Louisiana Monroe. That's the guy I want on my team. A 6'3" guy who can't really truly play the linebacker position up to the level of even a 6-6 Florida State team. That's who I want.
So out of these 4 players, who do we think has the best chance of having a successful NFL career, sticking around?
LaMarcus. Not LaMarcus. God, Levante. Because that's who he reminds me of, LaMarcus Joyner.
Okay.
That's the only reason I say is more of a similarity, body type, guy who can who's been there. Stanford is, I think if Stanford was put in a situation where he's running maybe like a cover 3 type situation as opposed to a man, or you kind of make sure he's guarding a particular side of the field, the short side of the field, I think he'll flourish in that. But that's a lot of ifs for a guy who's an undrafted free agent, where typically you got to be a lot better than that. That's the only – Stanford Samuels is the only person who I'm always careful about how I talk about, and that's just more of a personal thing because I remember him as a kid doing warm-ups on the field when I was playing at Florida State, and he like I said, it's just like a little that's like a little nephew to me, so I always try to be careful with how I say about him. But Gabe Neighbors, very difficult for a fullback to come in that position, even though he might have been one of my favorite players on this past Knowles team. And who am I missing? I know for a fact that trash ass lineman ain't making the team. Like that's a good. I'm happy he's gonna get a check, because you do get per diem checks, which are pretty nice when you've never had any money. But other than that, nah, man, he could have stayed where he was at.
We know that the line sucks, but do we know that he didn't play well?
Yes, he looked bad.
Okay.
There were times where he gave up the goodies. I thought he was going to come in and do a lot better, but if any of the undrafted guys are going to make it, it'll be the 2 DBs. I think there is something of their skill set that can be salvaged.
And I think Logan hit the nail on the head last week when we talked about it. Levante Taylor has done everything right since the Sun Bowl. In the last 4 months, off-season workouts, and once again, we're in a different world now with everything being done socially, everything being done online. FSU didn't have their pro day and whatnot. He did everything right as far as that's concerned. And he's shown up well, and it looks like he has the capability. My concern is the fact that I don't think he showed it during his 4 seasons in Tallahassee. If it's the Levante Taylor we've seen the last 4 months, I think he will be the one to make the 53-man roster for the Rams come the season opener. If it's the Levante Taylor who played a majority of the last 4 seasons in Tallahassee, that would be my concern. And I think Stanford Samuels is another guy. If it's the Stanford Samuels we saw the Miami game as a freshman in 2017, several other games, I think that's the Stanford Samuels that could be on the Packers 53-man roster. If it's the Stanford Samuels that played a majority of his time in Tallahassee, I remember his dad knocking the hell out of Roscoe Parrish in the 2003 game. He had a lot to live up to and whatnot. If he plays like that Stanford Samuels in the big games, I think he could make the Packers roster. If not, I think there's
I'm gonna level with you, Mark and guys. I don't know a lot about coverage. I know what D-line is supposed to do. I know what linebackers, but when it comes to cover 2, cover 3, and all those things, I'm not like an expert with those things. So like I ask a lot of questions, but there is something that I do know is probably not supposed to happen. Is wide receivers aren't supposed to consistently run past you.
No.
And score touchdowns on you. So like when that happens, that's never a good thing, if I'm correct. I know the goal of a game is to score more points than the other team and stop them when you get opportunities. So when I click on the film and I'm watching other teams get drafted, other players get drafted from other teams, and I see myself on a draft tape, but as a highlight of somebody else, and they're consistently running by me, it doesn't help my stop. That was something that I used to always say. I don't want to watch the NFL draft the last weekend in April and see myself on there at all, let alone more than once. And unfortunately, we got an opportunity to see a lot of guys get drafted. We were a stimulus package for NFL draft picks when it came to this past one. So that's where you leave one guy. So that sucks, man.
But James, you beat Miami our senior year. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I beat Miami the only year it mattered.
That's why
James, against Miami. So
I will always have that man crush on James because he scored that touchdown. We went up 10-0, and we held on. And finally, the kicking errors went in Miami's way, and he made it to where I got at least one victory over Miami as a student at Florida State. So thank you, James, for that. On behalf of the class of 2006 from Florida State, thank you very much.
There are many things that Jason states that will never come out of my mouth, and I know 2 of them for sure. Shout out and man crush.
That's a lie. You've given multiple shout-outs. I know you got man crush on Andy Katzenmoyer from Ohio State, so that's a lie. Joe Germain from Ohio State. You know, who's your coach? The one I'm watching. The coach who got fired, the tattoo coach.
The tattoo coach. Yeah, tats all over him. Jim Tressel.
Yeah, I know.
On his sweater vest, they were all over the place.
I know you're a man crush. Don't lie. You've used the term before.
That has never come out of my mouth. Neither one of those terms have ever come out of my mouth for me personally, giving a shout out or that I have a man crush on anyone. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just, there you go. I'm just saying this has never come out of my mouth. As
a South Florida native, James's touchdown allowed me to be able to go home one time and say we have a victory over Miami.
That's awesome.
Okay, James, mazel tov.
It truly is.
I'll buy him a drink next time we're in Tallahassee.
I've lost track of the person in the chat who's asking about Steven Dix Jr., outside linebacker, 15th rated in his class of 2020 out of Orlando. And what do you guys think of him?
It's early, very, very early.
It's a little early.
We only had one full pad practice. So when you look at linebackers, you want to see a boy that's hitting.
Okay. How do you look coming out off the bus?
So you mean to tell me you haven't written any articles about impact players after watching 1.5 practices?
No, we don't do those impact articles, James. You know that. I don't do none of that writing. I don't do none of that. But we only 3.
No, I was just saying. I was just found it funny when like guys on the beat were talking to us about who's had the best spring. And I'm like, we've had 1.5 practices. That's like I don't know much about football, but I know it's very difficult to gauge in shorts.
Well, after 3 hours, they did great. So that's awesome.
I know exactly what you mean, James. But yeah, no, Steven Dix, if you look back at film and you look back at the huddle, if you want to that's practically all you can go off of right now. Just go back to his huddle, look, and you got a hitter. But you've still got young guys, McCrae's out there, Deloach. I also got, I was about to say Talvin Smith, but Amari Gaynor. So just got to see if he gets in the mix. But we've seen from film, he's a hitter kind of guy. And you also got a coach that probably a lot of fans are happy about and excited to see develop that unit, and Chris Marv come from Mississippi State. So we'll see. But the best that you can look at right now is going back and looking at film and see what he did in high school. But you can tell he's a physical guy. And a lot of the linebackers that have come into FSU and they've had a few interviews since starting spring practice have said that, they want to hit. I mean, that's how mainly most linebackers are. They're usually that and your fullback and guys that want to go after each other, they're usually your most physical guys. And Steven Dix looks like he wants to hit somebody, but we just haven't seen much from him. And hopefully we'll get some words soon on when spring practice will start, and we'll start seeing these young bucks go at it and some drills and some hard-hitting situations.
Yeah, we're not having football till the fall, Logan. There's no more spring football. There's not going to be summer football. We're not having football till the fall practice.
You're going to depress the chat. You're going to depress the chat, Jason.
Be honest. Logan, own it up to the honesty factor. But Steven Dix, we talked about him a little bit before the spring. He's got that physical size. He's got that size you want, that linebacker. And like Logan just said, he's got that motor. He's got that energy. He's got that it factor, if you will. The hesitation for me is the fact that it's literally the same thing we talked about with Dante Jackson. If you just go by size and hitting ability, Dante Jackson should have been a great linebacker for Florida State. Instead, he was a joke towards his senior season in 2019. So I think, Steven Dix has the potential. I'm just a little bit hesitant to give anyone more credit at this point until we actually see them in a game. I want to see him knock somebody out for West Virginia first.
I appreciate that Redbeard is concerned with my temperament. Don't be mad, Mark. Just tough for me to watch my favorite show. So Redbeard had complained about the 5 o'clock. He had clamored that we needed constancy. I believe he was looking for the word consistency in our timing, but constancy is what he went with. So Redbeard, we love you. You got to subscribe. Hopefully you're subscribed. Then you get the notifications and you know when we're coming on live. That's the best we can do. Until you flood me with money and can get it to anywhere between 6 and 7 figures. Got to be high on the high range of 6, getting to 7. Then I will do this show whenever you want me to. You can name the time and we'll do it. And I'll be here doing videos and live streams like nobody's business.
Redbeard, if it makes you feel better, we all complain about the 5 o'clock time too. So I'll just be the working.
Well, I'm not really complaining, but like I said, I have my apple juice with me. Natty Ice always prevails. I will never have a Bud Light again. And I keep to my word. What stays at my desk and what I do my studying when we do our Mark Rogers TV shows live, I have my Natty Ice here, and it helps save lives.
Jason would correct you on that. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.
I was going to say that, but I was also going to say that before Logan has too many apple juices, I think he should get to his little spiel real quick about why you, the fan of Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, should hit the like button.
Should like the video?
Do your thing. Go.
Yes.
Jason now sets you up. This is his part in
he
all
now
of it.
sets. I used to be where I got the pick, but I guess now Jason's going to tell me when to go. But he deserves that, right? He's been on here nonstop. Consistency is what comes from Jason Parker. So I want to let everybody know to hit that like button. I can't actually see how many people are watching right now. It's the first time being on my phone. But
51.
51. How many likes are we at currently, though? Do we have a number?
I'll give it a rundown. You go on your rant, and I'll get you the number.
The likes is going to help Mark out a ton. It's going to help also our clout. That's what the kids use now. Our clout is going to go up if you guys are going to be liking the video, because the algorithm is going to take the video and share it to other FSU fans. So make sure you hit that like button. We're rolling. We're about to hit a full year of this straight. If you're still rocking with us, say it in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming in here. I always appreciate Mark inviting us on here to come talk some Noles and actually believe in what we're saying. So make sure you hit that like button. We should definitely get close to 50 before this is over, though.
23 likes, 51 watching.
Yeah, that's going to have to go up to 40. That's going to have to go up to 40 within the next 5 minutes.
James, have you ever used the word clout? Apparently the kids use it. According to Logan, he just said the kids use it. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody told me that one time that I was like, I dropped some information. I was looking for clout. I was like,
Logan,
put in both those end zones, and like
I like the term clout. That's like comeback clout.
You've got clout.
Clout.
It's like a 1970s term.
So is swag not hip anymore, Logan? I'm just wondering.
Got clout.
We need to bury swag over by the cemetery, because once that swag surf hit Virginia Tech, I don't even want to hear that anymore.
You love swag surfing, James. You love swag surfing.
Okay.
I still cry sometimes when I hear that song.
First of all, it was great at the start of the game because you'd have before the opening kickoff, and it was awesome. You got it. The crowd was into it, and then it was just that downhill trajectory of it. It's a good.
It could be a 30. If they do a 30 for 30, that's how it should start. Like just that moment, how packed dope was. Everybody going. So, what if I told you that this would be the downhill of Florida State? Florida State is
See, to me, the downhill for Florida State was having to reschedule a game with Louisiana Monroe just to get bowl eligible. That, to me, was our low.
Here we go.
That's when we should have saw the end.
Right. That's when you have to reschedule a game against a Sun Belt team just to get your 6th win. That is a kind of the writing is on the wall there. Yeah. But I'm sure Logan's going to figure out some way to blame. I'm sure Willie he wasn't the coach yet, but okay, go ahead.
I do remember a good Willie Taggart game back in my day. Oh, it was just not so long ago that we were in overtime and had to kick a good, or the team actually missed a field goal, and that was the way that Florida State was able to get out of a terrible loss in Doak Campbell Stadium at night. I do remember that one.
It was also against the same Louisiana. It was also against Louisiana Monroe. I know. It was damn Warhawks.
You know what? We're not arguing about Willie Taggart and Jimbo Fisher today. We're here on the Norvell train for the rest of the night.
That's right. We'll give Jimbo and Willie Tags a break for a few weeks.
If it makes them go for a few weeks. If it makes us feel better, ESPNU is showing old football, and Miami just lost, so it's a good thing.
Before we continue our conversation in whichever direction it goes, and we need to talk Jameis Winston, and of course, Jason can't. That's been his favorite subject for weeks and weeks and weeks. I will let Logan know that I've got numbers here that go beyond just the viewership right this second at 55. So actually, we've had 165 people actually come through. Jason.
I support you. I've been here 49 weeks. I support you no matter what. I'm here at 5 o'clock.
I see Jason giving me the wind up.
I'm figuring out how I'm going to start this diatribe. So go ahead. You do your thing.
We've actually had 165 people come through the live stream and only 23 likes. So that's 55 watching right this second, but 165 have been watching at one point or another. So
the likes have got to go up. I don't know. I think it's the quarantine situation. If the quarantine wasn't happening, we would have already been recapping a spring game, literally.
Yeah. Nobody likes anything.
And we would have had we'd probably be looking at around 1,000 on watching us. So
Jason,
I think the quarantine.
If the quarantine hadn't happened, you'd be in class right now, Logan. So guess what? Enjoy the quarantine. You're drinking apple.
I got one other thing, and then I'll turn it over to Jason. So don't forget the jigsaw puzzles. You've been reminded by a few people here. One is posted on the screen, the jigsaw puzzles. Okay.
Yeah, so the puzzle today is kind of like figuring out which beer to drink. So that's the puzzle. So either it's Natty Ice, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra. There's White Claws out there, which I'm really embarrassed about. Some of my boys are drinking White Claws, and I'm honestly very, very embarrassed. But that's the puzzle. My puzzle right now, completely correct. I'm drinking the nicest beer there is, natural ice, not natural light. And I'm having a great day. And I'm just hoping that we have some football in 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
I'm going to spend the rest of the show catching up with everyone in the live chat. I'm going to be filtering the live chat. I'm going to be in charge of the live chat. Jason is now hosting the rest of the show. To put him in his glory, I'm going to make up, maybe get myself back in his good graces and let him talk up Jameis Winston and lead the show forward, because this is become his favorite topic. This is right here.
Mark, I want you to stick around for this because we're going to have story time with JPZ here. James, I'm going to tell you a story real quick because you haven't been here with us the last week.
Enthralled.
I'm going to tell you a quick story. It was a couple of weeks ago here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, when a certain gentleman, an employee of WTVJ NBC6 in Miami, said that the perfect spot for Jameis Winston to go to was the New Orleans Saints. A certain gentleman in the top left corner of your screen, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, did his little scoff laugh.
I did not.
You did.
I didn't have anything to say about it.
You scoff laughed, and Mr.
I guess I'm just used to doing that with you, so it was just a reflex.
But for this one, I'm gonna let it go the way I want it to. The bottom left person, Logan Robertson, thought that I was crazy and said that Jameis was heading to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was the perfect place for him. He was going to be black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, and everything was going to be good. And I said he was going to go to New Orleans. He was going to learn under Drew Brees. He's going to succeed in life because he's going to be a New Orleans Saint. James Coleman, where is Jameis Winston heading?
First,
he's going to know. But we haven't had a contract.
That's what I want. I want official.
No, he hasn't signed yet, but he has agreed, reportedly, he has agreed in principle that he will sign the contract with New Orleans for a one-year deal. So, Logan.
To quote one of my favorite beat reporters that everybody knows, I love Bud Elliott. It's not signed until it's not a contract until it's signed.
100%. Agree with 100%. So he has agreed. He has agreed to a potential deal with the New Orleans Saints. So I'm going to give Logan the chance now, and then I'm going to give Mark a chance here. I just want you guys to take a moment. It's just 3 words, actually 4 words. You were right, Jason. Just say it. It rolls off the tongue. Logan, just give it to me real quick.
I might have had too many natty ices last week. I don't remember you saying that was going to be the confirmed destination for him. I did also say that I think a great spot for him would be Pittsburgh. He can learn behind Big Ben. I think they have the same kind of similar build and physical asset between one another. But so
they got other
from what I've heard is that it's between the Saints and the Steelers right now. And for some reason, he should have signed and made it official yesterday after 4:00. But that hasn't happened. So what's happening now? I can't tell you that you're completely right until I see the signing and it's completely done. I have to wait on this. We're talking about a future Hall of Famer. He's not just going to make things just go under the weather on a regular Tuesday or a Monday. Things are going to happen on a Friday where we're all having a good time.
Oh, no, and I don't think he's going to be the starter for the Saints at all in the 2020 season unless it's Game 16. I think this is the perfect chance for him, though, to go in and start fresh. We talked about it. He wasn't going to get a starting spot unless he went to a sorry-ass team like the Jaguars. Sorry, no insulting your Jaguars there, James. But, he was either going to start for a sorry team like Jacksonville or, Miami or something, or it was going to have to be going to a good team like a Pittsburgh, like a New Orleans, back up, learn from an experienced quarterback, and start all over again. I think it's the perfect spot for him. I think he's going to fit right in. If the Saints is officially where he goes, I think it'll be the perfect spot for him. I think it's a perfect learning environment where he will learn from Sean Payton. Drew Brees, you're going to get a Hall of Fame quarterback that you will get a chance to learn from, a chance to back up. So I think it's the perfect spot from him. And also I think that Logan said a lot of words. None of them were, you were right, Jason. That's all you got to say. Just 4 words. I know it's egotistical. I know I'm narcissistic. Just make me feel better.
You're close to right.
All right, I'll take that. Mark, your turn. You were right, Jason.
I had absolutely nothing to say about. I did not refute you in any way. And if I did, if you believe that I did, you need to go to the episode. You find it. You send it to me. You say, okay, Mark, 27 minutes in, 3 weeks ago, you said that I didn't know what I was talking about because I had absolutely nothing to say about Jameis Winston's fit across the NFL. Nothing.
I am not giving you a free.
I told you that he's not better than Tom Brady. I told you that. We discussed that. I told you that it was not a ridiculous conversation because I understand he's not responsible for 30 interceptions and statistics aren't everything, but we had a debate about that. But I didn't say anything about whether your prediction about him going to New Orleans was going to be correct or not. I didn't say anything about that. Nothing.
Listen, you can say what you want to.
I can apologize for something I didn't say. I just have a policy about that. I don't know why, but I tend not to do that.
Right, hold on a second. I'm gonna help you guys out here, so we can put it here so we can see it. So see, it says, "You were right, Jason." That's all you gotta say. You just gotta say it. It's 4 words. At some point before the year anniversary, you have 3 more shows. Let's do it.
Next year, when that still is the only thing that you've been right about, Jason, maybe we'll commend you on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll tell you right now, Jason, I've drank a good amount of these natty ices. It would have to take me a couple more cases and trips to the gas station in order for me to tell you that you're right.
I thought you were drinking apple juice there, Logan. What happened? Now we're just admitting what it is?
I mean, obviously, I've gotten to the point where it's just time to just drink it up and have a good time. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I mean, Mark decided to do this at 5 o'clock, so here we are.
Yeah, your name is Coconut Kane. You're making fun of me for using the term man crushers. This guy uses the word coconut. You're a coconut Kane. The coconut might be the most man crush food out there, and you're going to make fun of me for using man crush.
They keep coming, Jason. There you got Christopher Counts.
I did. I had a man crush, James Coleman. He saved me from not beating Miami as a student. Congratulations. I will say it again, James. I have a man crush on you because you scored a touchdown against Miami, and we beat the Canes because of it. Thank you. I'll own it.
Don't say it again.
I am comfortable enough in my heterosexuality to say, James Coleman, I have a man crush on you for beating Miami. It's fine. And James is fine with it. He knows it. It's fine.
A lot of people have crushes on me. As long as it stays on the internet,
it's fine.
I don't get in trouble.
I'm glad that I've drank for this episode. That's all.
Who else would be on the man crush list, Jason?
For me, probably James Coleman, obviously.
Coach Norvell?
Obviously. Why not? Derek Jeter. I had a man crush on Derek Jeter. Back in the day when the Yankees were actually winning championship after championship, I had a man crush on him. I'll admit, Ryan Reynolds, he's a good-looking man. I'd probably take him out to dinner. I don't know. He'd buy, but yeah, I'd probably take him out to dinner.
Can someone – I don't know. I'm never getting on my phone on here ever again.
Okay.
If you were on your laptop, we wouldn't be talking about that. I blame you.
I'm going to a football-related topic. I'm going to save a slogan. Here we go.
Mark,
so we just went through –
Mark, you invited us, so this is all on you.
Exactly. I did. I was just explaining to somebody today how this all got started. I said I threw out an invitation to like 6 Florida State people on a DM on Twitter, and everybody said, hey, we'll do it. But boom, Logan, Jason every week. Here we are. Almost a year later, James pops in when he's got time for us, when he's not in the car, going to a more important gig that actually pays him.
Hold on. Let's defend James. James has not been in the car the last 3 times he's been on here. He has been in the house, air conditioning running, kids running around screaming. He has been in the house in the greater
Denver. So my phone blew up, and I can't go into an iPhone store and replace it. And they want to put like a $2,000 hold on my card until they receive the other phone. So I just said I won't have a phone.
Yeah.
It's been the most refreshing 2 months of my life. Like, but again, you DM me, so people who need to know how. Well, actually, I shouldn't have gave that secret away. But anyways, if I don't respond to your DM, I didn't want to talk to you. So just know that. But the people who can get a hold of me can get a hold of me. But so I keep seeing this thing pop up from Snuffleupagus or whatever his name is.
Okay.
And Shanka Tapata, whatever. But apparently he or she, actually it, I don't want to disrespect anybody.
I'll try to find it.
I don't know what their lifestyle is. But they say, what happens if we lose to Boise State? Like, or is FSU season over after week 3? I mean, obviously if we lose to Boise State, I think Coach Norvell has no choice but to fall on the sword and just forfeit every game in the rest of the season. I mean, gosh, geez, lose to a team, like you just have to stop playing games because that's how the NCAA works. You just kind of go in the locker room and say, well, boys, we lost to a team in Colorado that we lost to the year before when we weren't any good. So I think I'm just going to call all the other coaches up and just say we're going to forfeit the game. Actually, it will make our defense better, our scoring defense better, because when you forfeit, it's 2-0. So our scoring defense gets even better. What do you guys think about that?
I think that my man crush just went down a little bit because we're not forfeiting any games if we lose to Boise State.
So if we lose the game, we don't just get rid of the season?
No.
That's not how college football works?
That's the way it should work, but let's be honest. We're not the Florida State of 2013 or 2014. This is the Florida State we are right now. I think realistically, we need to realize, I think we should on paper, beat Boise State this season.
Jason, you were lecturing Logan on picking up on sarcasm to start the show.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think he caught that at all.
He didn't.
Yeah,
I think he already had a couple of the apple juices beforehand. But I think to go along with James's point, I think, yes, we should expect to win, and I think we should be favored to win that game. If we lose to Boise State, would it be a shocking, oh, my God, we lost to Boise State? No. I've said this before. I think Florida State should have figured out a way, especially after losing in Tallahassee last August 31st, should have figured out a way to buy out. If we weren't losing money right now over having no spring football, no spring game, paying money to buy out Willie Taggart's contract, I feel like we should have figured out a way to buy out of this trip to Idaho. I don't want to play this game. This game scares the absolute hell out of me, especially after they beat us last year in Tallahassee. But it's like what we talked about.
Well,
Florida State's record after that Clemson game. Clemson game is the 5th game of the season. Florida State has to be 3-2 or better after that Clemson game. And let's be honest, we're going to lose to Clemson. Clemson's going to dog stomp us on October 10th. I'll be there. And I'll be rooting for the Noles. I hope the Noles win. I think they're going to dog stomp us. Florida State can only lose one more game out of the other 4, which is West Virginia, Boise State, Samford, and NC State. They can only afford to lose one more of those games. If Florida State is 2 or 3, 2-3 or 1-4 after that point, after that Clemson game, we are in trouble. If you're 3-2, if you're 4-1 even after that point, I think Florida State will be just fine. So I don't think the Boise State game may be the most important because it's probably the most likely out of that group of the 4 games before Clemson for Florida State to lose because it's on the road, because Boise State beat us last year, because Boise State's not a bad team. They're not the Boise State of 2006 that beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, but they are a decent team. They are capable of beating Florida State.
Well, here's the real deal, and I think this is something that we need to look into and take gratification of, is if Florida State does go to Boise State and lose for a second time in a row against them and what would be their true sophomore quarterback. If you lose to a team in Boise and you lose to a team that has a blue turf field, you've got to take that. There's got to be some kind of W from that. You're losing to a team with a blue turf field, and that's something incredible to take from. I think that FSU fans should be a little silent for right now. Enjoy what you've got, the momentum of FSU and Mike Norvell right now. But if you're going to lose to a team with a blue turf field.
Okay, Logan, I'm going to ask a question that probably all 3 of us are thinking right now. Me, James, and MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. How many apple juices have you had so far?
We're at 4, but not enough.
Here's
Are we trying to talk about how many of these or waters?
Make sure you hydrate.
I have a man crush on you too, Logan. Your drinking ability gives me a man crush. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, let me ask a real. I want to ask a serious question. Is Mike Norvell a good coach?
Is Mike Norvell?
Do you guys believe this? Is Mike Norvell a good
question here for the last 5
I mean,
minutes.
just off of first impressions, because it goes somewhere. Like, do you believe he's a good coach?
Here's what I'll say, and I said this last week. If Mike Norvell is 9-12 through 21 games, I think he should be fired. He won't be, but I think he should be fired.
Facts. Is he an upgrade over the coaching staff that we had last year?
From what we've heard, and we haven't had a lot of practices, obviously, we're getting a mix of what Jimbo, whenever his early years were here, being strict. From what we've heard, he's saying the right things, kind of, but I think you're seeing more of a position-by-position coach. I think some outlet put out that he's going to coach some position group by position group, every practice, blah, 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 whatever. But you can see by film and practices that he goes to every position, and he's kind of eye-to-eye with guys, which I think might be a little bit different from what Willie Taggart and staff did. I feel like players, and I'm sure James Coleman can comment on that, I don't know, having the head coach be kind of there direct with you might be a little bit different. I think there's going to be a lot more discipline that was obviously all over the place. We look back at Dante Jackson. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I'm watching wherever he'll go. He's not going to head anywhere he was able, after getting in trouble the week before by going after a opponent, doing the stupidest thing, he was able to get back out on defense on the next series, and then he started acting like the fool again, and there was no discipline had. So I think a discipline factor on Norvell is going to change a lot on how this team is going to work, and like the little things. A lot of players have talked so far at the beginning of spring practice that the little things while they're practicing, they're really enjoying, and they think that they're learning a lot. So that's all we can say about what Mike Norvell will do here at FSU. There's a ton of talent. FSU always brings in talent. It's all about developing. Under Willie Taggart and company, there was no developing.
That's my point. So there goes to my point. So here's the thing. If all of that is true with Mike Norvell, Boise State was 1 4-minute offense drive away from losing to Florida State. Why should I fear?
And Wake Forest was 1 field goal away from losing to Florida State.
And Virginia. It's just a lot of things. So the thing is, if we can't beat the Boise States of the world, if we can't get that over that hump, if we can't beat NC State, a team that Taggart beat, if we can't beat Sanford, if we can't beat West Virginia, who people are telling me that there's some world beaters, but when I'm looking at this game-by-game schedule, the vaunted battle against James Madison, that's the school named after presidents in Virginia, right? It's the one of FCS, right?
Yeah.
Missouri beat the hell out of them. They beat NC State. They barely beat Kansas. Lost. Barely beat Kansas State. Lost to Oklahoma State. Beat TCU by 3, which I give them that. I'm just looking at these things and these numbers, and there's nothing that, like, again, not that Florida State is great, but that's not like opening the season up with Alabama. It's opening the season up with West Virginia. Boise State's probably better. Boise State's better than West Virginia. So if I believe that we could beat Boise State, I should believe that I mean, again, 3-2 shouldn't be a 3-2 shouldn't be an issue coming after Clemson. There's no way in hell we're beating Clemson. I can tell you that much. But just if the first 5 games we can't go 3-2, then we didn't hire the right person.
I agree.
And that's the truth.
I agree with you 100% on that one. I will give Mike Norvell credit. You listen to that introductory press conference. He said the right things. I think one of the things that got Willie Taggart in trouble was because we were all hurting because of the way Jimbo abandoned the program, left the program after he made the players sign this "I will not quit" BS deal, made them sign the paperwork, and then he quits. But whatever, we're on from that point. The thing is that Willie Taggart came in and was like, we're going to win the ACC, we're going to go to the Orange Bowl, we're going to do all these great things. We were running before we could walk. I will give Mike Norvell credit. In his introductory presser, he was saying the right thing, saying, we're going to work. It's going to take time, but we're going to get there. He was basically setting the stones for, hey, we may go 8-4 this season. Then we get 10 wins next season, and then go on from there. Let's do it like that. If that's the way things happen, I think we'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. What I don't want is I just don't want it to be a situation where we have the same 9-12 record through 21 games come his second season, and everyone says, "Oh, give him a chance, give him a chance." When everyone was trying to kick Willie Taggart's ass out of Tallahassee, I don't want that.
I'm not taking this job if after him. Have you seen our schedule after 2 years?
I know.
There's no way I'm going to take it. Like, so the thing is either he gets it done or he doesn't get it done. The standard is the standard, per Mike Norvell, who said the same things in the first press conference. He said a lot of things. I like Mike Norvell. But Mike Norvell's press conference was no different than Willie Taggart's press conference, except for he sounds like Joel Osteen when he was preaching. So, I mean, the reality is this. You can't – right now recruiting stinks. If he can't come in and go 4-1 in the first 5 games, he ain't it. Period. That's the reality. You can't have a 34th ranked recruiting class right now with a bunch of activity and nobody's striking. You got Tennessee up there cooking with Crisco right now. You got Florida, who Florida fans who I don't know what Florida fans think they are, but like your coach is winning and he's recruiting his ass off, and you're still not happy because losing battles with Alabama. Trust, you ain't won a conference championship in a while. Like your coach is doing well, putting you in a position. I'd kill to have your situation. Miami's the only place that fans probably y'all know y'all don't like that crooked youth pastor Manny Diaz down there as well. Like, but the reality is we can't just compete with either one of those. Our stuff is facing us right down. Our 20 recruiting class did not end the way it should have ended. If Norvell is inspiring as he is, we shouldn't have lost some of those guys that we lost. And we needed some of those guys. And you can't lose guys in your backyard, which we're getting our ass stuffed in the locker right now in our backyard anyway. My high school in particular has 2 or 3 blue chip prospects. And it's called Florida State University School. Alabama shouldn't be able to go into Florida State University High School and pick up who they want. Tyrion Arnold's half brother is Leon Washington's son. His son. You shouldn't be battling somebody for a former no. It's a lot of things that he's doing great, and I believe he will. But what I don't like, especially when it comes to Twitter, is either damn it, you believe Mike Norvell's a good coach and you're coming in with confidence, or you don't. And just be honest.
Mike Norvell has 2 jobs. He has 2 jobs this season. Number 1, he has to be, like you said, he has to be 3-2 or better at that Clemson game, because that's the mark. If you're 3-2 or better, you can see that Florida State is on the right track. That's number 1. Number 2, he has to at least split the in-state rivalry games. He has to beat one of them, Miami or Florida. I think he has a better chance of beating Miami, because I don't think Miami is going to be as great as everyone down here seems to think they are. Florida's the home game, but I think Florida's a decent team. He has to beat one of them. You cannot have a point where you're at the Clemson game and you're 2-3, 1-4 or worse, and you get swept. If those things happen, he needs to not even get 21 games, and I'll say that right now.
Commenting that Logan's got some bad cabin fever, wandering all over the yard.
Here's the deal. I was actually going to grab another beer, so that's my fault. I was letting them talk about what they were talking about. Remember, I can't hear most of what you are saying, but I was hearing some talk about Norvell and what's going to happen in the future. I don't know, but I was going to grab another beer. I do apologize. Next week, I'll be on better behavior.
Well, I don't know if you answered James's question. He was just throwing it out. Based on we got 0 games to go on at FSU. Does he seem like he's a good coach? Do you think he's going to be a good coach?
From what we've seen, also I look at the NFL draft and the staff that he's put around him and the guys, those coaches and those position groups have sent to the NFL in this last year's draft. I want to hope so. From what I think a lot of people have learned from last year and the year before that under Willie Taggart is that you got to wait and see what happens. I mean, we've heard good things from players. It does seem like a lot of guys, I mean, we still haven't had a lot of spring practice, but a lot of guys haven't transferred and left. It seems like they're believing in the message. Definitely the strength and conditioning coach under Josh Storms. They really like how their body is working and how it's being developed. Everything is going in the right direction, but I think until you get first series offense, defense against West Virginia, I mean, it's just so hard to tell. There's a lot of good things, optimism to be like. There's a lot of optimistic people out there. I try to stay optimistic too, but I also try to be in a well, I'm trying to think here, realistic type of point of view, and understand that Florida State's offensive line, it's still got a lot of work to do. Coach Atkins has a huge job ahead of him. He's one of the youngest coaches on the staff. Chris Marv also, which happens to be another position group that has a lot of developmental needs. It's interesting, and Mike Norvell believes in these young coaches. So I want to believe in what Mike Norvell is doing. I wish we would have had more spring. I wish we would have had another spring practice or a spring game to give our thoughts on, but that wasn't the case. And you also got to start thinking here, quarterback battle. Purdy comes in. Tate Rodemaker came in here for, I'm not going to say no reason whatsoever, no reason, but Purdy gets to catch up with Rodemaker. I mean, Rodemaker came here to get in some reps early on and scrimmages, routes with his wide receivers, but that's been cut off. Purdy's already had the friggin' playbook since the second he signed. I mean, if you don't believe that, then you're on something. But Purdy's got the playbook. He's been learning right there side by side with Rodemaker. So quarterback's going to play a big deal. But yeah, I want to hope that Norvell has got it all, but I will not say much until Florida State has a quarter into West Virginia and we see what's happening in that offensive line, I think defensively things are going to be rocking. That there's too much talent back there. If it's coached just slightly better than last year, that this defense should be disgusting. And I believe in Adam Fuller.
I think if as long as when I first met Coach Norvell, he came to Jacksonville. I got a chance to talk to him. He said that they do these things called entry and exit interviews in college. Taggart did his entry interviews, and everybody across the board painted Jimbo like he was the devil. Jimbo made me hate life. Jimbo made me cry. Jimbo touched me here on the doll. Jimbo did all of these different things. So Tag came in and made it one way. The entry interviews for Mike Norvell, the overwhelming thing was we do not handle adversity well. My thoughts on this is it doesn't matter who is the coach. We can bring prime Bobby back. If these young men don't understand or don't figure out that buy-in is not optional. Nobody gives a damn about your feelings. Nobody cares if you like football. You're either here and you play and you do what you're coached to do to the best of your ability without somebody having to motivate you, or leave. You got to go. That's it. So, I mean, those are the big things right there. So, like, if they don't buy in, if they don't change their attitude, we'll eventually become Stetson. Because what I'm seeing is a bunch of whiny crybabies who don't understand how big boy football is played, which we had that. And all of a sudden it dropped to this diva level. And that's why only one person got drafted. That's why you saw, I think, Norvell's staff had 7 to 9 guys drafted. The difference is guys who actually believe that they play this game to feed their families. Ain't tweeting, I got to get my mama a house. No, it's actually going out there and trying to get your damn mama a house. It's all cool to talk, but that's all that these guys have been. And again, not even realizing that there's no mercy rule in college. You sat there and let Clemson roll race you. And again, I blame coaching too. I hate Kendall Browse, but I also believe that these young men got to do a better job.
Next week, or in a very future episode here, we need to clear out of the way and let James preach right out of the gate like that. Lay it down just like Noel Blood is telling us right there. Preach, Mr. James. Preach.
Can we show?
I love those guys, though. I love those because they play at Florida State. I just want them to be a little more hard.
Only if we can show highlights of the 2005 Florida State Miami game. Just show one highlight in particular. James Coleman's touchdown.
We could possibly dig that up and find it and get it on here. We could do that.
What?
My phone device is at 1%. I'm surprised it's lasted for an hour and 10 minutes. If I disappear, that's what's going on. I haven't been attacked. I haven't been killed. I have not overdosed on Matty Ice. That is literally what's happened. My phone has died. So
we also need to let everyone know that they're getting a free dose of Florida State Seminoles live. We've gone for an hour and 8 minutes now. They're getting overtime here.
All right,
an off season with nothing going on. Yeah. That's how good it is with these guys. Big game James Coleman joining us. Love when he can stop by from Fifth Quarter College Football. Join him right there. Before I let any of you guys go, the least I can do is let you guys talk up what you got going so people can find you. So James will continue with you.
My bad.
Who's going first?
You're good.
Yeah, James Coleman on Fifth Quarter College Football. Now, actually, Fifth Quarter Sports. We've got college football. We've got NFL. We've got NBA, MLB. We're trying to expand the network. Come join us. Go to fifthquarter.net. You can see the articles. You can join the Discord forum, or just catch me on @sportsden_live. My daily radio show here in Jacksonville, Florida. All things FSU, Florida, Miami, Jaguars, Tampa, and the Dolphins sometimes. Or at Big Game James _36 if you had trouble catching all of that.
Dolphins sometimes.
Jason.
I get to write about
my phone. I'm so shocked.
I get to write about we're opening up back here in South Florida tomorrow, so enjoy that fun chaos. Everyone stay safe. Remember, stay safe.
And Logan, of course, at Knoll Game Day. Where else can we find you? Oh, it's a permanent smile on Logan's face now.
We've lost Logan.
Yes. I don't know if anything. If anything, thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on at the Knoll Game Day, me at Logan's Twitty. But always appreciate Mark letting us come on here and talk some Knolls. We'll see you hopefully next week, either Monday or Tuesday, whichever Mark wants us on. We will be here. Yeah, NFL draft is over. So up next, hopefully we get a real.
Believe me, folks, I would like to stay consistent with the show day and time. Believe me, it's better for me. It's better for you. It's better for all of us. We try to keep with Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, but it's not been feasible the last several weeks based on my schedule. But do all those good things that you know in building a YouTube channel. Like the videos, comment, share the videos out on social media, subscribe right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, so we can keep the content coming your way. A lot of good stuff now that we've cleared the NFL draft and just went nuts posting content on the NFL draft. Now we move on with all sorts of top 5 analysis of player positions for the Power 5 conferences, coaches rankings, and the like. A lot of good stuff coming up. So lock it in right here, and we will see you next Tuesday